In July 2024, inside Berlin's Olympiastadion, Mikel Oyarzabal connected with a cross in the 86th minute and sent the ball into the back of the net. Spain had just beaten England 2-1 to become European champions, for the fourth time in their history. But unlike the three that came before it, this one felt different, not just because of the result, because of how they got there. 7 games, 7 wins, not a single one lucky, not a single one in doubt for long. The football world sat up and took notice. And for teams drawing their group at the 2026 FIFA World Cup in North America, finding Spain in their path is the outcome everyone feared. This is why nobody wants to face them. To understand what Spain are building right now, you have to understand what they were just a few years ago. The golden generation of Xavi, Iniesta, Casillas, and Villa won everything between 2008 and 2012. Back-to-back European championships. The 2010 World Cup in South Africa. They redefined how football could look, how it could flow. And then it ended. Not slowly. It ended overnight. By the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, Spain were eliminated in the group stage. The machine had run out of fuel. For the next decade, they were competitive without being convincing, talented without being truly feared. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar was the low point. Spain scored 7 goals in their opening group stage match against Costa Rica, the kind of performance that made the world expect something special. Then Morocco knocked them out in the round of 16. With Spain failing to score a single goal across 3 hours of football and a penalty shootout. Something had to change, and it did. Luis de la Fuente was not the most celebrated name in Spanish football management when he took the job. He had spent years developing Spain's youth national teams, winning European titles at under-19 and under-21 levels. But what he understood, better than almost anyone, was the generation coming through. He had coached most of them when they were teenagers. He knew their qualities, their temperament, their hunger. And when he took over the senior squad, he did not overthink it. He gave them the ball, gave them the freedom to express themselves, and asked for one thing above everything else: intensity. The tiki-taka era was about possession for possession's sake. Slow the game down, suffocate opponents, grind out victories. De la Fuente's Spain still dominates the ball. But now they do something with it. They press with aggression. They transition in seconds. They create chances at a rate that overwhelms even the most organized defenses. And at Euro 2024, it all came together. Germany, June 2024. Spain's first match of the tournament against Croatia. A 3-0 win, clean and clinical. Then Italy, 1-0. Tactical precision. A Murata goal that felt inevitable from the moment the match began. Then Germany in the quarterfinals. The host nation. The most hostile crowd Spain would face all tournament. 2-1, won in extra time. Then France in the semifinal. 2-1, won. Lamine Yamal, who had turned 17 just the night before the match, producing one of the great tournament moments when his curling left-footed strike leveled the scores before Olmo completed the comeback. Then England in the final. 2-1. Oyarzabal with the winning goal. 6 nations, 7 matches, 0 defeats. It was not a fluke. The numbers confirmed what the eye could see. Spain won more ball, created more chances, and scored more goals than any other team at the tournament. Rodri made the midfield look like a one-man control center, covering ground, recycling possession, breaking up attacks before they could become dangerous. UEFA named him Player of the Tournament. 6 Spanish players made the official team of the tournament. It was a statement, and the really frightening thing? The youngest members of that squad were barely starting their careers. When the World Cup qualifying draw placed Spain in Group E alongside Turkey, Georgia, and Bulgaria, most football analysts checked the draw results and moved on. The group looked like a formality. Spain made sure it was. Their opening qualifying match in September 2025 was against Turkey in Konya. Turkey arrived with a squad full of Bundesliga and Super League talent, genuine quality, a home crowd behind them for the first leg of the tie. Spain won 6-0, 6 goals, 0 conceded, in an away fixture, against a team that would finish second in the group. From that moment, the group was over. Spain continued to dominate, finishing with 5 wins and a draw, 16 points from a possible 18, scoring freely and defending with quiet authority. The message to the rest of the world was clear: they were not slowing down after the Euros. They were getting better. Now, here is where the story gets interesting. When Luis de la Fuente announced his 26-man squad for the 2026 World Cup on May 25th in Madrid, Spanish football went into immediate debate, not because of who was included, because of who was left out. For the first time since 1950, Spain's World Cup squad will not contain a single Real Madrid player. Think about that, 76 years. 76 years of Real Madrid contributing players to Spain's World Cup campaigns. Casillas, Raúl, Hierro, Ramos, Benzema. The list runs through the entire history of the modern game. Gone. Dean Huijsen was left out through injury. Dani Carvajal, who had struggled through an injury-hit campaign with Madrid, was also excluded. Robin Lenormand missed out. The absence of Real Madrid players was not an accident. De la Fuente chose 26 men he trusted, from clubs he believed were delivering what he needed. 8 of those men play for Barcelona. 7 play in the Premier League. The national team is no longer built around the Bernabeu. Whether that matters in terms of results is the question. Based on the evidence so far, it clearly does not. The squad de la Fuente selected is built around 3 generations of Spanish talent, each bringing something different. The anchors are players in their late 20s and early 30s. Rodri, now 29, who anchors the midfield with an authority that makes the entire system function. Mikel Oyarzabal, who has scored 24 goals in 52 international appearances and carries the composed ruthlessness of a striker who never panics. Aymeric Laporte and Marc Cucurella in defense, experienced and reliable. Then the prime generation. Pedri, 23, one of the most technically gifted midfielders in the world. Fabian Ruiz, a cultured passer who thrives under pressure. Dani Olmo, who scored 3 goals at Euro 2024 and was the joint Golden Boot winner. Nico Williams, the athletic Bilbao winger, whose directness and pace give Spain a completely different attacking dimension. And then there is Gavi, Barcelona's injury-stricken midfielder who missed Euro 2024 after suffering serious knee damage while playing for Spain in 2023. His return to the squad is one of the most emotional stories surrounding the tournament. De la Fuente included him because he is fit, and because when Gavi is fit, Spain are a better football team. Simple as that. And then, above all of them, there is Lamine Yamal. At 18 years old, Lamine Yamal is already one of the most discussed footballers on the planet. He became the youngest player in European Championship history to score, doing so at 16 years and 36 days old during Spain's semi-final against France. That moment, a curling strike from outside the area that flew into the top corner, announced him to the world in a way that statistics alone cannot capture. This season with Barcelona, he recorded 16 goals and 11 assists in La Liga, posting a rating of 833 across his matches. The kind of numbers that put him among the best attacking players in club football. At 18, before his first World Cup. The one genuine cloud hanging over Spain's preparation is Yamal's fitness. He suffered a hamstring injury late in the Barcelona season in late April, which kept him sidelined heading into the tournament. De la Fuente has expressed confidence he will be ready for Spain's opening fixture on June 15th against Cape Verde. That statement, careful and measured, is the only thing that has prevented Spain's outlook from being entirely perfect. Even without him for a game or two, Spain have the depth to manage. But with him fully fit, they become something else entirely. Spain's path through the 2026 World Cup begins in Group H, alongside Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Cape Verde are making their first ever World Cup appearance, a remarkable achievement for a small island nation with a population of just over 500,000 people. But they face a massive step up in class against Spain. Sportsbooks give them roughly a 62% chance of failing to advance past the group stage. Saudi Arabia arrive with a reputation for producing results nobody expected. Their famous 2-2 victory over Argentina at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar remains one of the great upsets in recent World Cup history. They are organized, disciplined, and capable of making the game ugly if Spain allow them to. They will not allow them to. Uruguay are the real test. Federico Valverde, one of the most powerful midfielders in European club football, anchors a South American squad with genuine experience and a competitive mentality shaped by generations of tournament football. Darwin Núñez, when fit and focused, is a striker capable of punishing any defense on his day. Spain and Uruguay meet on match day 3, almost certainly for the group winner spot. That match could serve as Spain's first genuine indicator of how far they can go. Bookmakers have Spain at 376 to win the group outright, a 79% implied probability of finishing first. No other group favorite in this tournament comes close to that level of confidence. But there is a tension in this Spanish generation that is worth addressing directly. Their last World Cup knockout run ended with penalties against Morocco. No goals in open play across 20 minutes of football. A shootout they could not survive. Humiliation, frankly, for a team with that quality in the squad. De La Fuente was brought in specifically to address what went wrong, and the argument he makes every time it comes up is that the squad he is working with now is fundamentally different from the one that lost in Doha. He is right, not just in personnel, in mentality. This team scores from open play with regularity. They press with conviction. They do not sit on leads and hope. They push for more, because the instinct of players like Yamal, Olmo, and Nico Williams is to attack always. The question of whether they can sustain that across 7 knockout matches against Germany or France or Argentina in the later rounds is what makes the 2026 World Cup genuinely compelling. Spain are not just technically gifted. They have been here before, at the biggest moments, under the biggest pressure. And most of the players who made the mistakes in 2022 are not in this squad. There is one final detail about this Spain team that deserves mention before the tournament begins. The average age of the attacking players De La Fuente has selected is extraordinary. Lamine Yamal is 18. Nico Williams is 22. Dani Olmo is 26. Pedri is 23. Ferran Torres is 25. These are not players at the end of something. They are players at the very beginning. Even if Spain do not win this World Cup, this generation has at least 2 more tournaments ahead of them. The 2030 World Cup, to be held partly in Spain, would see Lamine Yamal at 22, Pedri at 27, Nico Williams at 26. The architecture of what Luis de la Fuente is building is not designed for one tournament. It is designed for a decade. That fact, more than anything else, is what makes opposing managers lose sleep. You do not just have to beat them in North America this summer. You have to figure out how to beat them, knowing that even if you manage it this time, this Spanish generation will be coming for you again. The UEFA ranking agrees. FIFA agrees. Bookmakers across the world who make their living being right about these things have Spain at the top of the list. Not the only contender, but the team no one wants to draw. 48 nations are heading to the United States, Mexico, and Canada this summer. 47 of them know exactly which team they do not want to meet. If you want to see the full tactical breakdown of every team in Group H, including why Uruguay's Federico Valverde could be the one player capable of disrupting Spain's system, that video is on screen right now. Hit subscribe so you don't miss our match-by-match analysis throughout the 2026 World Cup.